Hello, and welcome to a new journey of what I am calling Instinct School of Solos, or School of Solo, or Solos because we're doing multiple solos. Anyway, the purpose and design of this is based around discussing and showcasing good principles and concepts to be incorporated into your Nightreign runs, especially if you're still trying to climb your way up in raiding for Deep of Night. After searching around on YouTube for a little bit, I found that no one's really doing something like this, at least for solo play. Now that might be because I believe there may be an overall disinterest in the community for solos, but for me personally, I find solos to be an enjoyable experience, and it's originally how I reached Depth 5 within the first week that Deep of Night was released. Now let's say you're watching this and you're someone that's not interested in solo play and you're only interested in playing with a team, then these videos may not be for you, but you still may learn something valuable from this even if that's the case. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to be doing Depth 5 solos until we fight every possible Night Lord variation within Deep of Night. And if we go to the expeditions, we have Gladius, also known as Tricephalos, Adele, also known as Gaping Jaw, Noster, also known as Sentient Pest, Maris, also known as Augur, Libra, also known as Equilibrious Beast, Fulghor, also known as Dark Drift Knight, Calgo, also known as Fissure in the Fog, Balancers, Dreglord, and Healstore, also known as Night Aspect. Now, these aren't the only possibilities, as most of these as enhanced versions, also known as Everdark Sovereigns. So in total, we'll need to fight 18 different Night Lord variations to complete the series. That does not mean there will be only 18 episodes, because I will be uploading every solo run I do here until every Night Lord variation is seen. And also, just to show here, if I go back to the visual codex, I do have a 260 win streak, and these are purely from Depth 5 solos. This isn't done with a team, and some people might look at that and say, yeah, that's fake, but that's fine. You can believe what you want, but did 260 Depth 5 solos without losing, without quitting out. And just to prove it's legitimate, we'll take another look at this win streak whenever the program is complete. And while we're on the topic of Depth 5, the reason I'm not starting the series at Depth 1 is because everything that I showcase here in these Depth 5 solos can be applied to your runs, even if you're just starting at Depth 1, Depth 2, Depth 3, Depth 4, whatever the case may be. And if you happen to watch my last video, I explained that Executor is pretty much the only character I play anymore, and that's exactly who we're going to be using these runs. And with that being said, I'm going to be covering Executor specific stuff in general, but anything that's not Executor specific can be applied to other characters as well. And so what are some of those principles and concepts that we're going to be covering? I don't really want to get into a huge explanation just yet, because everything is going to be discussed as we go through these episodes, but some of the key topics are going to be preparation, routing, prioritization, and pattern recognition. Of course, we're going to be discussing much more as we go. So without further ado, let's just get it right into him. So let's see who the first boss is going to be for the series. Wow, one of my favorite bosses. We get Dark Drift Knight on the first run here. And since we got Dark Drift Knight, it has a 50-50 chance of being either the regular version or the enhanced Everdark version. So we're going to need to fight both of those at least once throughout the series to mark them as complete. So nothing crazy starting out, just starting camp, nothing really to talk about just yet. Each of these guys takes about 3 swipes to kill. You get the bleed proc, but it doesn't do anything. They would die anyway without the bleed. I do see a red enemy over there. I'm actually going to go kill that guy. And if I kill him and this guy over here, that might give me enough runes to get me level 3 right off the bat, which would be really nice. And after I kill this guy, I'll take a look at the map and discuss the routing. Yeah, so just finish this guy, see what he drops for me. He does drop Serpent Bone Blade. Didn't get enough runes for level 3, but that's fine. This hasn't... I actually probably should drop this. Yeah, I'm actually going to drop it. It's really not that useful yet, and it's just... it's making my HP lower. Alright, so this is a good boss to get. Oh, I just realized my HUD is off. Let me fix that. There we go. Actually, I did hear a scarab over here, so let's grab that. Yeah, so in terms of routing, I spawned basically near 3 field bosses. And I noticed that the one I spawned closest to was the gargoyle, which was... Oh my gosh, please just... Okay. Gargoyle was over here. I checked... Then I went to check this one, which was the dragon. And now we're right next to the demi-human queen, which is going to be the easiest out of those 3. So I'm going to do a few swipes at this thing. I did get my ult. So as soon as it does its roar, which means it's going to start attacking, then I'll use my ult. It should roar right now. Yeah, now this thing can one-hit you really easily. So to make it a lot easier, I'm just going to use my ults. And since I'm low level, I'm going to try to kill some of these guys. Just to get a little more runes. You really want to maximize your runes as much as you can on day 1. Let's see what we got. We got a successive negation right off the bat, which is super nice. It's going to be extremely helpful for Fulghor in general, because you can proc successive pretty easily off of him. Now, since I'm kind of close to the castle off of my spawn and going to this field boss, I'm just going to head there right now. And see what we get. I'll be able to tell if it's a troll castle. Right here, it is not a troll castle because I would have seen one there. So it's either going to be Banished Knights or Crucible Knights. And it's Banished Knights, which isn't really ideal. They might be worth coming back later to kill. But for now, I'm just going to do the basement boss. This attack never hits you. Just going to do some standard deflecting. And you shouldn't be scared of doing certain bosses early. That's one of the keys to being successful in solos. Do some nice backflip attack on him. He's going to take a little while to kill, but it's fine. Make sure I use my skill. Backflip that last move. It was a little risky guard counter, but I knew he was going to stance break off of that last deflect I did. Circle's closing. I'll check where that is happening in a second. I know I'm safe here, right in the middle of the map. What's gonna be in the top left? Just keep deflecting. I'm actually gonna get my ult here. I'm gonna use it just to finish the fight a little bit more. Or, not more. Finish the fight a little bit faster. Just by clawing him over and over and over. And what do we get now? We get an Eleanor's Pole Blade. I'm actually going to take the summoning attack because that is going to be more valuable throughout the run, more so than an Eleanor's Pole Blade. Eleanor's is really only going to be good against fire weak bosses, which there aren't going to be too many on the field. But the summoning attack is useful whenever I do a guard counter. Winged Sword Insignia, I am going to take that. Oh, and we found a negation full, and we have Balancer Raid. Wow, negation full and successive to start the series. That's actually kind of crazy. But I do believe the Winged Sword Insignia that I just got does interfere with successive negation. But I'm not going to worry about that too much, especially since I just found full damage negation. I do have to run to the end of this little mini dungeon location to fight the Balancer. And actually, to play this safe, what you can do, since all the enemies attack each other, You can just kind of kill them and build up your ult if you don't have your ult. And it will make the balancer room so much easier. That shield has skill attack power, so I'm going to take that. Just finish off some of these enemies. I'm still a little bit of ways away from my ult. I did get Scarlet Rock, but I'm not too worried about that. And this is kind of killing a little bit of time, but it's going to be worth it. Getting my ults for sure. These guys are very tanky. Drop something. Nothing useful. Okay, I do have my ult now. I'm just gonna use this basically right now and not even think about it. The executor ult does do a ton of damage to the balancer, even at depth 5. I'm not gonna worry about these guys, especially since I'm low level. But I do need to now go to the poison ruin and complete that. And once we kill the bouncer there, then it will give me a chance to revive if I do happen to go down at any point. I don't know the percentage chances. If anyone knows that, you can leave a comment, but I actually don't know the percentage chance of the balancer raid actually reviving you. It seems to do it quite often though, every time I witness it. So it's actually a little scary not having my ult for this. We'll just go and see what happens. The perfumer's fighting the bat. This bat's fighting me. I'm so scared of the perfume fire going everywhere, and the bats are really annoying to deal with. Run away from that. Do I have a better weapon to use? Not really. Just do a little bit of deflecting on the bouncer. Actually, it should die right here. Yeah, perfect. Get a good amount of runes from that. And I'm not going to worry about killing the perfumer just because... I mean, it would be super fast to kill, but I'd rather take the time to check the location of more field bosses. And yeah, that parry shield might be useful at some point. Has skill attack power on it, so definitely keep it for now. Skill attack power does help out the dash parry when my curse sword is glowing, and I do that attack. It helps with that. Let's grab the church since it's right here. Might as well check if the other churches, these, that I almost never go for that, or I worded that wrong. I usually never go for that church down there. That one is always so far away from everything on the map. We find a red tree sentinel, so let's kill this guy. Another one we should not be afraid of, especially at level 9. Just try to deflect what we can. Summoning attack is going to be amazing here. Yeah, I'm glad I took it over the Eleanor's pull blade. Do some attacks while he stands stroke, and I almost have my ult. Some standard deflex. His skill, when he stands broken, does extra damage. I did see the circle is closing now, but I'm going to take a look. I should be able to kill this guy pretty soon. Should be close to a bleed proc too. White stance break here. Yep. I'm really glad I took the summoning attack, because it really helps with stance breaking. And another skill attack. This is kind of ridiculous how good of passives I have already this run. I really don't even need anything else. But actually, one of the key principles I mentioned earlier is preparation. And what I mean by that is, since we have Fulghor as our Night Lord, he is weak to lightning, and you specifically want lightning for his sword slam attack to interrupt that. So I'm either going to need to find a lightning weapon, or I'm going to need to find lightning grease or lightning pots. Anything lightning related that you can hit him with will be able to interrupt his big attack. I won't worry about that just yet. I do have a lightning location over there, which I could work my way towards over there. So I think I'm going to do that. And just to take a look at these field bosses. Actually, I'm going to see if I can kill this hippo in time. Excuse me. I might be able to kill this hippo before the rain starts closing in too much. Some standard deflects and standard guard counters. I like to do the dash spray attack on his head for the most amount of damage. And I think I'm going to commit to killing him, even though I see the rains right here. I'm going to check, make sure I don't have any Knight's Tide damage. I do not, so I won't take extra damage. Awesome. Take a little bit of damage to the rain. And wow, even more. This is actually a good weapon just to have instead of my beginner katana. It does have attacks impaired on occasion, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Going to grab the berry bush just to heal some HP. We do have a Royal Revenant Day 1 boss. These guys can be a little annoying. I'm going to use my ult if I take too much damage from them. Yeah, so I'm actually going to play it safe and use my ult just to deal with these guys, because I'm not going to need my ult during the Royal Revenant fight itself. Unless I really screw up. Yeah, Royal Revenant. Just going to deflect it a bunch. If you're not an executor, you can dodge all this. Or if you're playing Guardian, you can guard all of it. After enough deflects, you'll stance break. Actually, I have Ice Storm on charge attack, so I could get a Frost proc on him, since it imbues it with Frost. Guard counter, since he did 3 attacks. You don't want a guard counter unless he does 3 in a row. And just finish him off with a dash parry, and that's an easy day 1. So it doesn't really matter what I take here. For extra damage and stance damage, might as well take the Deluge. Does a little bit of extra damage and stance damage to whatever it hits. And it does proc a lot while you're deflecting, because while you're in this stance, you're considered walking. As you can see, it just procced. And yeah, actually I'm going to make my way this way and make my way back towards the spawn area and kill that gargoyle. This guy, just some oh, I got hit by the miners. They're angry. Get away from them a little bit. This guy's stuck on the rock. That was a little bit of a greedy hit. This guy's right here being annoying. Might as well kill him. This guy's really not worth killing, honestly, but he's right here. Maybe the summoning attack will hit him? Nope. Yeah, he's not the best to deflect. But one more hit and his horse should go down. Yep. I'm gonna pull up my Curse Blade because it does more damage on the crit. And I'll hit him a little bit because it does extra damage too. Please don't get back on your horse. Towing attack helps out here a lot. And I was worried about that, but it is what it is. Almost killed me there. So let's use the ult. Always want to use the executor ult for a quick heal when you need it. When you have it available. And hopefully this lands. No, of course. Classic. Classic executor ult. Just gonna dodge a little bit. This horse was 1 HP. And this crit should finish him off after a couple of hits. Alright, that guy took a little too long, but it's okay. Affinity attack power is alright. Especially if I get a lightning related weapon. I'm gonna make my way to the gargoyle. And I don't think I showed my relics yet, but these are the relics I use for basically 260 wins in a row. That 1 through 3. And 4 through 6. Yeah, focus on physical attack, some HP, some negations. And I can ensure they're not cheated. You are a scumbag if you cheat your relics. That is my opinion on that. Guard counter the last hit of that combo. Some standard deflects. I actually should have dash parried before the crit. But I'm just going to do dash parry now. It's a little bit of damage loss, but it's okay. Oh, did not mean to do that. Might die here. Yep. Me accidentally pressing the parry button got me killed. And you do need to dodge that attack he does right there. Because you... Actually, it would have saved me. You take damage anyway. I already took damage. So I should have actually deflected it at that point. But it's alright. We'll get the runes back. Kill him. You are allowed to die in solos. Not too much because it does take a lot of time away if you die, but it's not too big of a deal. Don't think that's going to connect, but yeah. Like sprint cancel that. And the deluge, I just realized, is going to help a lot against the gargoyle. Some standard deflects. Should be close to stance breaking. There we go. Unfortunately, it did not want to give me the crit there, but that's okay. Have my dash parry charge ready. Alright, and he should be a goner here. Got him. We do get a rivers. That is actually extremely nice. One of the best weapons you can get during a solo run as executor. For basically any expedition too. I'm actually gonna go now kill... This was a dragon, I remember, from the beginning of the run. We're gonna kill that. Ideally, the weapon we want... The most ideal weapon we want for a Dark Drift Knight Fulghor run is the Dragon Scale Blade. And you're just more likely to get that from the formidable bosses. I have a formidable there and a formidable there. I might go for that one, depending on what happens between now and the rest of the run. But for now, let's just work on the dragon. I need to switch the shield out of my other hand so I can start using the River's Ash of War. That's just not really a lot of deflects you can do. I could have deflected that stomp. I like deflecting the head turn right there. Head turn attack. And this is where he breathes fire, so you gotta run away. I didn't... That was kind of cool. I didn't mean to do that, but it kind of works. And it did cause him to do a really punishing attack there. I like to jump for these stomps a lot of the time. It's because they're a lot easier for me to time when you jump. Alright, and we do get a successful guarding negation, which is really nice. I have so... This is actually a ridiculous run for negations. I don't need the flowing cursor anymore. I'll take the guarding negation. Oh, and I just realized we did not kill the top castle boss. We didn't even see what it was. We can go there. Here's a scarab on our direct path, so let's take care of it. Don't need that silver scarab. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to get any more churches the rest of the run, but that's totally fine. I'll have 5 going into Dark Drift Knight. Which, if I use 5, then I'm just clearly not prepared for depth 5. And this is another thing. You always want to check your merchants. The merchant does have a lightning weapon. So I'm actually going to take that over the guarding negation, because I'm not going to be guarding too much at Fulghor, and I do have the full negation and successive. Let's see who the top boss is. I like to do this skip right here if I can get it. I do still mess it up a lot. There we go. Awesome. The best boss to find as Executor. Ow. I need to get close to him with my ults so he stops doing those attacks. The red sword attacks he mainly does when you're far away from him. And I really like to do a lot of unsheath and sheath deflecting on him. It's just kind of how I learned to deflect him. You can do standard deflects, but I personally like just do unsheath, sheath. Always guard counter that last combo hit. And he died super fast because we are high level. Guarding negation again. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to use it, so yeah. Take the crit, restore HP, or FB, sorry. And I do have a lightning weapon, but don't really need to go to this lightning location that I mentioned earlier. So let's now just check this field boss. But the other thing I'm thinking about is lightning grease. I'm not going to bother with any of the enemies here. Especially since I'm already level 15. I don't really need drops the rest of the run. I would consider it if I needed some drops. But I really don't need drops at all. I could actually do these invaders because I do have a rivers. I don't have the Night Invader buff through my relics. But I do sometimes like killing the invaders because of their passives. Even though I don't even need passive, so I might not even bother. I think I'm just going to go to the boss over here. But I could find lightning grease here. I think I'll be able to kill the boss and look for some lightning grease. Let's try that. And I think in the distance I see a black knife. That should be super fast. Now that we're level 15. Always dodge that attack because it will do damage if you deflect it. Alright, come on. I'm gonna guard counter this. did guard counter that specifically because I knew it was going to stance break off the damage I already did. And the circle is closing now. It's closing over there, which is great. That means I can look for lightning grease there. And another guarding negation, wow. But we'll just improve the flask. Yeah, if we find a couple lightning grease fast, then I think I'll try to kill the boss, which is a Death Knight here. These enemies are pretty brutal, though. The Mesmer soldiers. Alright, where to find lightning grease? I actually don't really look for the boxes here. Oh, maybe from these chests. I see a lightning grease. I see a couple of them. Yep, that's plenty. So in the case of having lightning grease... Ooh, okay. I'm gonna use my ult so I don't die. These soldiers. I'll finish my train of thought in a second. You can backstab this guy after he tries to grab you if you dodge it. Yeah, so in the case of having lightning grease, I don't really need this anymore. I can use it as a backup. Let's take the stance breaking. Stance breaking is always... Oh my gosh. I'm gonna use a flask. Get my HP back. You do passively get flask back every minute, I believe. So I should be able to get that flask back. These dogs might chase me into the circle, which could be a little concerning. But here we'll find out who the Night 2 boss is. And it should spawn as soon as I walk over here. And we get Nameless King. Alright, see if I can proc successive since I'm not full HP. Yep. Jump on the stomp. He's gonna tail swipe. Alright, now we get to fight Nameless King. There is a few deflects you can do in his first phase. I'll try to show. But I might kill him super fast with rivers. Usually starts with this fire attack. Just sprint away from it. Almost ran on a little too early. I just try to stay by his feet a lot of the time. It's another fire attack. I'll see what he does here. Just a slam in the other direction, that's fine. I was gonna say I usually dodge through that wind, but I'm gonna use my ult here. Just play it safe. Get back to full HP. Gotta get some hits on his head. Don't really like deflecting that one. It's a little inconsistent. Especially since I'm not locked on. Gotta do some hits on his head. Oh, I just realized I'm out of FP. It's fine. This is such an awkward spot to be in. Yep. I'm gonna actually try to lure him away from this spot. And this one you can deflect. And then you can deflect his swipe here. It's fine, I don't really need FP. I'm gonna save my FP. A lot of deflecting gonna happen here. I like to unsheath sheath him. You can actually backflip this. Dash parry on him. I like to just dodge this because deflecting is a little inconsistent. I could have deflected his stomp right there. I'm gonna deflect this, so I don't really have another option. I can guard counter that. I'm gonna use a flask here, just get back to full. Alright, I'm in my stance, so I'm gonna use my ult. I did make a mistake there by being in my deflect stance. On the second part of his second phase, he has the chance of doing that slam attack, so you don't want to be in your sheath stance when that's possible. The 30% flask or the affinity attack power is fine here, so we'll just go with affinity attack power. Yeah, so far good run. Really ridiculous passive, successive, full skill attacks. This also has charge negation, but I never like really proccing that on executor. Fine from the merchant, Wending Grace, and Opaline. And I could, yeah, what you can do is you can just sip this Opaline. It lasts for 3 minutes and protects you from one hit. Might as well just buy some more shards. But then I'm also going to make sure my item's selected on the lightning grease for if and when he does his not the lightning slam, his sword slam. We can check what version it is off the bat. So we get Everdark version, which is awesome. I like to deflect, cancel that. He's already starting with this, so I'm going to apply the grease, do some rivers, doing insane damage. Don't have to dodge this attack at all. Just jump on him. Gonna dodge, just keep my lightning up. Already phase changed. And I actually don't need lightning grease anymore, because he does not do the slam attack in this phase. Just gonna dodge and deflect these. I'm gonna dodge these. Sometimes he can stomp on you and the deflect doesn't work. Just gonna run from this attack. Scary, I couldn't target him. Let me dodge that. You can deflect that, but I'm gonna dodge that. This one I like to dodge at the end because deflecting is once again inconsistent on that. And we get to deflect the nuke. I like to stand to the side. Do a nice little unsheath sprint cancel. Deflect this one. And this one I don't like to deflect because it's very inconsistent. And rip the no-hit. Oh. Not sure I got hit right there. Could have swore I cheated it. It's okay though. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my ult here. Yeah, especially since he's shooting arrows at me. And we get to deflect another nuke. And I messed up the timing on it. That's okay though. Dodge on this second attack right there. Dodge that because he's on top of me. There we go. Still had the lightning grease left over. Probably would have needed it if it was the non-enhanced version. But yeah, pretty happy with that run for the first episode. Yeah, might as well take a look at the routing. So yeah, you can tell where you spawn based off that straight line going to this camp. I did check that gargoyle from the distance, but checked this boss. Went to the demi-human. Went to the Leonine in the castle. We do from there. Oh yeah, we get the Balancers raid. So I got teleported to here and had to kill the Balancers there. Wiped the top left of the map to end day 1. Rotated clockwise around the map for day 2. Went back to the castle and everything. Yeah, let's see if we get any decent relics here. Doesn't seem to be anything great. So that is Enhanced Fulghor checked off the list. So that means we are 1 out of 18 bosses done. And I hope to see you in episode 2.